Two Arizona lawmakers have been subpoenaed by the DOJ for communications that they may have had with Donald Trump's lawyers and their attempts to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Those two state lawmakers, of course, you have Senate President Karen Fann, who of course played a huge role in the recount. She's basically the individual that greenlit that entire failure for Republicans. And State Senator Kelly Townsend. They both received subpoenas last week. And what the feds are looking for is any communications, which aides have already said they've identified tens of thousands of documents that they need to turn over. So that's a lot of communications, tens of thousands of documents, including emails and text messages and call records, all of that turned over to investigators to see what these two individuals were talking with or talking about with Donald Trump's legal team. That, of course, as we all know, was trying to not only get Arizona to recount and, do the ballot audit and all that, but they were also at the same time in communication with state lawmakers to overturn the electors from the state of Arizona. Right? We heard that from Rusty Bowers. Rusty Bowers, of course, was the Arizona House Speaker, who is also a Republican. He testified in front of the January 6th committee recently, telling us that yes, he was pressured. State lawmakers were pressured from Donald Trump's people to overturn the state's election results. And we know, of course, that there are several state lawmakers that were in direct contact with Trump lawyers about the fake elector scheme. And that, of course, is what the DOJ is looking into. So, if these two individuals, Townsend and, not Townsend, it's Fann, and Townsend, yes, sorry. A lot of names, hard to keep up sometimes. If both of these individuals were actively working with Donald Trump's lawyers on any plans at all to overturn the state's election results, they could be in serious legal trouble here. However, there's always this caveat. If all they were talking about was, can we audit the ballots, right? Can we do recounts, do all the signatures match? If they were doing legitimate things that would in fact fall under their scope, even if it's based on lies, that is not a crime. And that's important to remember, right? We cannot assume that anyone here is guilty. We all know you're innocent until proven guilty, and there could be communications in there that we may not like, but that doesn't mean they're illegal. So we're going to have to wait until all of this comes out to find out what exactly took place. Again, that's just with regards to Fann and Townsend. We do know that there were state lawmakers in Arizona that were pressured by Trump's legal team to engage in the fake elector scheme. Rusty Bowers has confirmed that. But whether or not these two individuals were involved, that remains to be seen. Now, I would obviously assume, and all this is an assumption on my part, my personal opinion, if you've got thousands upon thousands upon thousands of pages of communications to turn over, we're talking about a lot. I don't think you need thousands of pages of documents to just talk about, hey, we may do a ballot audit with this group Cyber Ninjas. What do you think of that? I mean, you could handle that in, 3 or 4 text messages. You don't need thousands of documents for that. Again, innocent until proven guilty, but right now it's not looking good for those two state lawmakers in Arizona.
This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.